Today's headlines. Malacanang thanks the public for supporting the government's campaign against the mounted terrorist group. Motorcycle riding company Angka suspends its operations as it seeks a dialogue with transport operators. The Philippine economy posts a 6.9% growth in gross domestic product in the third quarter of 2017. And Subic Bay Freeport area is set to unfurl the biggest Philippine flag. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Philippine National Police announced that its operatives have foiled an attempted terrorist attack days before the 31st ASEAN Summit. PNP Chief Director General Ronald De La Rosa said 3 suspected members of the Abu Sayyaf group were arrested on November 10. Operatives of the Quezon City Police District, National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, and the NBI Counterterrorism Division seized from them several firearms, ammunition, grenades, and cell phones. De La Rosa said the 3 were planning to conduct an urban terror attack, which was successfully foiled by authorities. The suspects were charged before the Quezon City Prosecutor's Office for illegal possession of firearms and for violating the 15-day gun ban set for the ASEAN Summit period. Malacanang thanked the public for its continuing support to the government's efforts to quell the mounted terrorist group, which laid siege to Marawi City for 5 months. A social weather station survey showed that 66% of Filipinos were contented with the government's action to suppress the mounted group. 18% were dissatisfied and 16% were undecided. The survey also showed high ratings for the administration's performance on fighting terrorism and reconciliation with Muslim rebels. Net satisfaction with President Duterte was 67 points among those who are very satisfied, 52 points among those who are somewhat satisfied. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said Duterte's swift and decisive leadership thwarted the mounted plan to establish an ISIS-inspired caliphate in Mindanao. President Duterte placed Mindanao under martial law on May 23 after the Maori group and its terrorist allies attacked Marawi City. Marawi was liberated last October after 5 months of battle. Government troops continue their clearing operations against mounted stragglers and other terror groups such as the Abu Sayyaf. Roque meanwhile called on the public to stand united against terrorism. The Armed Forces of the Philippines renewed its strict adherence to the international humanitarian law in light of allegations of human rights violations during the Battle of Marawi. A report by the International Amnesty Law claimed that military troops detained and mistreated fleeing civilians and also engaged in looting. It added that extensive bombing of militant-held areas wiped out entire neighborhoods and killed civilians. AFP spokesman Major General Restituto Padilla Jr. reiterated that the military strictly followed humanitarian law. He maintained that their basic mission was to save the lives of the civilians trapped in the siege. Padilla, however, acknowledged that isolated incidents of government forces involved in the looting and ill treatment. The general encouraged complainants and witnesses to the alleged abuses by government forces to come out in the open and file necessary complaints. He assured the public that the AFP will not tolerate nor condone any misdeeds by their forces, especially against civilians. A group of lawyers filed a criminal complaint before the Pasay City Prosecutor's Office against Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. The group also noted Trillanes' lack of credibility due to his record of involvement in destabilization attempts against the Arroyo administration. When sought for comment, Trillanes called the VACC Duterte minions who were only trying to divert his attention. He said that he remained focused on exposing the president's involvement in murders and corruption, as well as Davao City Vice Mayor and presidential son Paulo Duterte's involvement in the 6.4 billion peso Shabu shipment. The Department of Education asked for help from the private and public sector to help rebuild the schools destroyed during the months-long conflict in Marawi City. Here is our report.
The Department of Education is encouraging partners to adopt a school in Marawi City as residents resume their normal lives. Deputy Secretary Leonor Briones said private companies and local government units can help rebuild schools that were damaged and destroyed during the conflict in Marawi. She, however, said that DepEd would suggest a design and would also be in charge of the costing aspect. About 1.16 million up to 2 billion pesos is needed to rebuild the totally damaged schools. Briones also said DepEd is building temporary learning spaces in Marawi while school repairs are ongoing. She reiterated that DepEd ordered to accommodate the displaced students with or without their documents to ensure that their education is not delayed. For the PNA Newsroom, this is Rom Dulfo.
Motorcycle ride-sharing firm Angkas will suspend operations starting November 18 as it prepares to hold dialogues with the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. The Angkas office in Makati was closed for operating without business permit, while its bikers were arrested in an enforcement operation by the LTFRB. Angkas apologized to the riding public for any inconveniences that suspension of operations may cause. The company said it intends to provide a professional and safer way to ride motorcycles as a taxi service. It maintained that its bikers are well-skilled and duly licensed and that its rides are covered by personal accident insurance. Angkas hoped to consult with LTFRB to discuss regulation and modernization and work as an alternative means of modern transportation in the country. It also urged the Department of Transportation to allow two-wheeled vehicles under the Transport Network Vehicle Services or TNVS category. Group sedans, Asian utility vehicles, sports utility vehicles, vans, or other similar vehicles are classified under TNVS. Still to come, the Philippine economy posts a 6.9% growth in gross domestic product in the third quarter of 2017. The Davao City Hall follows President Duterte's order to replace his portrait with pictures of national heroes. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ito po yung mosque ni Sheikh Makdum. Sinasabi ng mga mananalaysay na ang Islam ay pinalakas sa Pilipinas ni Sheikh Makdum, isang misyonaryong Arabo na unang lumunsad sa tubig indangan, simunol sa pulo ng Tawi-Tawi noong 1380. Dito niya ipinatayo ang kauna-unang simbahang Muslim sa kapuluan ng Pilipinas.
This is Secretary Martin Andanon, and you're watching.
Hindi magkakaroon ng Muslim sa Pilipinas kung hindi dumating si Sheikh Makdum.
Arab missionary who introduced Islam in 1380. The name Simunur is derived from the Arabic word Isminur, meaning my name is life.
After 637 years.
Ito ang tomb ni Sheikh Makdum. Kalahin mo, no? 637 years. Bago pa dumating si Magellan, dumating na siya para i-introduce ang relihiyong Islam. Tapos dito siya nakalibing.
The Philippines continues to become one of Asia's best economic performers as it posted a 6.9% growth in the gross domestic product or GDP in the third quarter of 2017. The country's GDP, the total value of goods and services, showed steady growth even as compared to the 7.1% posted during the same period last year. Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia said the Philippines likely ranked second in Asia in the third quarter, next to Vietnam and ahead of China and Indonesia. Pernia attributed the country's strong economic performance to strong growth in exports and improvements in public spending, which boosted the manufacturing subsector and the services sector. This runs in line with the administration's Build, Build, Build infrastructure program. Pernia added that a weak peso benefited exports and remittances. He is also optimistic that fourth quarter GDP will likely be higher or match the third quarter economic performance. The Philippines and Russia signed an agreement to develop a variety of practical applications for nuclear energy. In a memorandum of cooperation signed during the 12th East Asia Summit, the Department of Energy and the Russian Federation State Atomic Energy Corporation will conduct studies on nuclear power plants. This includes an audit and assessment on the condition of the Bataan nuclear power plant. This cooperation will be implemented in the form of joint working groups, exchange of experts, workshops, and training of personnel and sharing of technical information. Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi said the Philippines can benefit from the vast experience of Russia in the safe use of nuclear and emerging technologies for power generation. He said the studies may benefit the country in the creation of national energy development plans and policies. Both the Philippines and Russia are part of the International Atomic Energy Agency and are parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. The Davao City Council has replaced the portrait of President Rodrigo Duterte with that of Freemason Filipino heroes in line with the President's order. In their session Tuesday, which was presided by Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte, the portraits of 4 Freemasons were hanging behind the desk of the presiding officer. These are Dr. Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Andres Bonifacio, and Antonio Luna. Vice Mayor Duterte said they decided to replace President Duterte's portrait with that of the 4 heroes to celebrate their works, influence, and inspiration. The Vice Mayor also said they learned from the Freemason heroes that there is no victory in dishonesty. President Duterte earlier ordered all government offices in the country to take down all of his portraits and replace them with Filipino heroes. Even when he was still mayor for more than 2 decades, the president never wanted any of his portraits to be hung on the wall of any office. The provincial government of Cotabato led the releasing of assistance for grade 12 students through the Senior High School Assistance Program, or SHAPE. Governor Emilu Lala J. Talino Mendoza led the releasing of assistance of 750 pesos to almost 400 grade 12 technical, vocational, livelihood strand high school students in Piquit Municipality. The financial assistance will help the students and their parents cope with their school expenses. Governor Mendoza also presented a commendation to blind athlete Rosalie Quino Torrefiel from Magpet Municipality. Torrefiel won a gold medal in the javelin throw competition at the 9th ASEAN Para Games in 2017 last September. In a message, Torrefiel said, "Disability is a matter of perception and that it should not be an obstacle in attaining success." The city government of Antipolo launched its Nutrition on Wheels program to cascade health, nutritional services, and information campaign to barangays. City Mayor Casimiro Inares II spearheaded the program to villagers who are hardly reached by health and nutrition services. Inares also directed the concerned offices to intensify the Nutrition on Wheels program to address the malnutrition problem and to educate local constituents, especially among the poor sectors, on proper nutrition and balanced diet. The program covers lecture sessions by health and information officers, health services for pregnant mothers, and weigh-ins for infants and children. City officials said that the approach eased the burden among local folks who have to spend travel and wait in long queues to avail health services in key health centers. Up next, the San Beda Red Lions beat the Lyceum Pirates to win the back-to-back championship at the NCAA Season 93 Finals. Subic Bay Freeport area is set to unfurl the biggest Philippine flag. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Mga kabataan ng Office of the Bangsamoro Youth Affairs naghatid ng dula sa Maynila. Alamin ang kanilang mensahe. Ang dulang ito ni Rogelio Braga na pinamagatang mas mabigat ang liwanag sa kalungkutan ay naglalayong tulungan ng mga Pilipinong Muslim, lalo na ang mga kabataan na masagot kung sino ba sila. Umikot ang istorya sa buhay ng mga kabataang Moro tungkol sa pagmamahal, paglisan, revolusyon at pag-asa. Sa tulong ng Office of the Bangsamoro Youth Affairs o OBYA, naitanghal muli ang dula sa Maynila. Pinagbidahan ng mga miyembro ng UP Repertory Company at ng ang Teatro ng Timog Silangang Asya o ATISA sa direksyon ng award-winning actor at director na si Manuel Messina III. Dumalo sa pagtatanghal ang Regional Governor ng ARMM na si Mujib Hataman, kasama si former aming party list representative Siti Jalia Turabin Hataman at si Miriam Coronel Ferrer, dating punong negosyador ng Government of the Philippines to the Bangsamoro Islamic Liberation Front o GPH-MILF. Ako po si Princess Abibas Ripaudak at ito ang Salam News Daily. Abangan ang iba pa naming kwento at pagtalakay sa aming relihiyon, kultura at tradisyon sa Salam TV tuwing linggo alas 8:30 ng gabi sa PTV.
The ASEAN Security Task Force, or ASTF 2017, thanked its personnel for a job well done following the peaceful and successful conclusion of the 31st ASEAN Summit. Task Force Commander Police Director Napoleon Taas said the summit is declared successfully secured with the departure of Chinese Premier Li Keqiang from his extended visit yesterday. ASEAN Summit activities started November 10. Taas also said President Rodrigo Duterte, U.S. President Donald Trump, and Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong heap praises on the security team. He added that the success in securing the event was made possible by the nameless, selfless, and dedicated men and women of the ASTF 2017. Around 60,000 personnel from 21 government agencies, including the police and military, were deployed to secure the event. The San Beda Red Lions beat the odds in the NCAA Season 93 Finals against the Lyceum Pirates to win a back-to-back championship and their 21st overall. The Red Lions topped the Pirates 92-82. Lyceum took the lead in the first half until the third quarter when San Beda grabbed a late lead and launched a barrage of three-point shots to push back the Pirates. Robert Bolick led San Beda with 18 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals, snatching the lead and outscoring their opponents in the last 5 minutes of the game. Finals MVP Donald Tancoa contributed 17 points and 7 rebounds, while Davin Potts and JV Mocon scored 15 and 14 each. CJ Perez supported Lyceum with 22 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds and 3 steals. A massive Philippine flag regularly displayed at the Subic Bay Freeport Zone will be a permanent fixture and attraction. The Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority has been authorized to fly the flag 24/7. Here is our report.
The country's biggest national flag being flown in Subic Bay will soon be hoisted not just on weekdays but permanently. Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority Chairman Vilma A. Smith said she received from the National Historical Commission of the Philippines a resolution designating the Subic Bay Freeport Zone as a place where the Philippine flag should be permanently hoisted. SBMA Deputy Administrator Ruel John Cabigting noted that the flag is 44 feet long and 22 feet wide, and it is highly visible from many points in the Freeport. He said that flying the biggest Philippine flag in the country is a matter of pride and honor for every Filipino. SBMA Senior Deputy Administrator Marcelino Sankey pointed out that the flagpole, where the flag is hoisted, also has historical symbolism. It commemorates the American occupation of Subic Bay. The leaders who attended the Asia-Pacific Economic Conference in Subic in 1996 and the volunteers who helped preserve Subic Bay. The flagpole also symbolizes national dignity and liberty, volunteerism and concern for others, and progress and development. The giant flag will be at the center of the celebration as SBMA holds a month-long celebration of its 25th anniversary. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Pag-asa is monitoring a newly formed tropical depression that is passing through Palawan. Pag-asa said the tropical depression named Tino was spotted east-southeast of Puerto Princesa City. After making landfall in southern Palawan, Tino is expected to pass through and exit the Philippine area of responsibility by Saturday morning. Tropical cyclone warning signal number 1 has been raised over Palawan. Residents in Mimaropa, Bicol Region, and Samar provinces are advised to be alerted against possible flash floods and landslides. Sea travel is also discouraged due to moderate to rough seas. Let's check the weather forecast for the rest of the country for this weekend. Let's take another look at today's headlines. Malacanang thanks the public for supporting the government's campaign against the mounted terrorist group. Motorcycle riding company Angka suspends its operations as it seeks a dialogue with transport operators. The Philippine economy posts a 6.9% growth in gross domestic product in the third quarter of 2017. And Subic Bay Freeport area is set to unfurl the biggest Philippine flag. The holidays are coming soon. It's 38 days before Christmas. For more stories, please log on to www.pna.gov.ph or visit the PNA page on Facebook and Twitter. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo. Good day.